Hi guys, welcome to your first e-learning video for math strategies. This video is going to be over converting decimals to percents and fractions to percent. First of all, what is a percent? What does that mean? A percent means that you have something out of 100. A century, like a century, is 100 years. So if you see cent, that means out of 100. It means something out of 100. So 25% is written like this, as 25 and the little percent symbol, and that means 25 out of 100, or in a fraction form, 25 over 100. Here's another example, 8%, 8, the percent symbol, that's 8 out of 100, or 8 over 100 as a fraction. In order to convert decimals to percents, how do we do that? So the way that we do that is we move the decimal 2 places to the right. So if you want to change a decimal to a percent, you need to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So let's look at a few examples. So here's the decimal, and we're going to move it 2 places to the right to make it a percent. So 1, 2, now it's 98 point and basically nothing. There'd be zeros here. So 98 point nothing. So 98%. Starts here, move 2 places, 1, 2. So that's 2276, and then now the decimal place is here, and there's nothing after it. So 2276 point nothing. So that's what the percentage is. Decimal place is here, 1, 2, and now it's there. So 12.568%. Decimal place is here, move it twice, 1, 2, and now it's 70 point nothing. So 70%. I don't know why there's not a percent symbol here. There should be one. Okay, what happens if there's not enough numbers to move 2 places to the right? Like this example. There's only one number, so how am I supposed to move 2 to the right? Well, here's what you do. You move 1, 2, and where you wanted a number to be, you put a 0. So if there's not enough numbers, if there's only one, you can go ahead and put a 0 in there so you can move 2. And that ends up, if you put a 0 in there, being bop, bop, so it's 20 point something. They're basically all zeros over here, 20 point nothing, so 20%. How about fractions to percents? How do we do that? So here are the steps that you need to follow to convert a fraction into a percent. So let's start out by dividing the numerator by the denominator. In layman's terms, divide the top number by the bottom number. So here's the beginning of 1. 1 divided by 2 would be the way you start. You divide the top number by the bottom number, and then you get a decimal. You should have a decimal now, and we do. We have 0.5. If we have 1/2, it's 1 divided by 2, and you get 0.5. You're going to turn that decimal you have into a percent by moving the decimal 2 places to the right, just like we did before. So technically, you're converting fractions to percents by taking a fraction, making it a decimal, then making it a percent. And you already know how to do decimals to percent, so it should be pretty easy once you get it to a decimal to make it to a percent, because you already learned that. So let's go ahead and try out a few of these. So we have 1 over 2. We're going to do 1 divided by 2. That equals 0.5. And if we move it to the right, 1, 2, that'd be a 0 here because we need 2 numbers. So 50 point something ends up being a 50% because it's 50 and then a point and then a bunch of zeros. Let's see another one. So 1 over 4 would be 1 divided by 4. And if you type that in a calculator, you get 0.25. Go ahead and move it 2 decimal places to the right, and you get 25.0000, etc. So it's 25%. Let's try another one. So 3 divided by 5 would be what you get here. So we have 3 over 5. So 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. After you type it in the calculator, that's what you get. You move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2, and there's a 0 there, so it'd be 60%. And I have another example here. It's kind of off screen. We have 7 divided by 10. So if you do 7 divided by 10, you get 0.7, and you move it to the right, 1, 2, ends up being 70%. So you're just taking your fraction, you're doing the top divided by the bottom, you get the decimal, and once you have the decimal, you use what we talked about before. You move the decimal 2 places to the right, and now it's your percentage that you wanted. Let's just do a couple more practice questions to finish up here. So let's say we have 0.926. So it is a decimal, and I need to make it a percent. The way you're going to do that is you're going to move it 2 places to the right. So you're going to take that decimal and go 1, 2. That's 92.6, which is 92.6%. Just whatever you see after you move it 2 to the right is your percentage. So I see this after I move it, so that's my percentage. And then one more here. Let's do a fraction into a percent now. The last practice that one. So 4 over 5 is 4 divided by 5. That's 0.8. Now if we move it 2 to the right, 1, 2, we're pretending there's a 0 here. So 1, 2, that'd be 80%. So that was just some more extra review for you guys to see that. Did you take notes during the video? Do you have any questions? Please make sure that you take notes every time you watch a video for Math Strategies. If you have any questions, then please ask me through email during office hours or in the chat during live time. Either way is fine, but I want you guys to learn from this video how to change a decimal to a percent and a fraction to a percent. So if you have any questions, again, just let me know through email or live time during chat.